company driving on 10-wheel, and it was a diesel, and I just don't know. I guess just not paying attention, and filled it up with gas. Of course, I didn't fill it up. I started to, and about the time I started, and not a big deal, because I didn't have a full tank, but it don't hurt for a little gasoline to be mixed with diesel. I mean, there's a certain amount that people actually do to winterize it. But I think I had exceeded that amount, so we had to pump it out. I don't miss driving anything diesel. I hate that noise it makes.
I drove big deuce and a half trucks in the Marine Corps. I like the sound and the smell of those.
You liked it the way it sounded? Back then, you could have put some pretty good black smoke up in the air when you were running too, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
I know I used to have the little Volkswagen Rabbits and stuff. I used to hate to pull behind one of them things when they were diesel. Well, they would stink you out of this world.
I used to drive one of those.
It was okay if you were driving. It won't fun when you were behind it sitting at a stoplight.
And see, I thought that the emissions were worse on those than cars, but it's quite the opposite.
I don't know. Have you noticed, though, that you don't smell them like that like you used to? It used to be terrible. In some of the older vehicles, I still see the black smoke, but most of them, they burn cleaner now, I think.
Yeah.
I forget the model Volkswagen that my father-in-law at the time had. But that little Volkswagen thing with the paint. I mean, you sit there, you had to run a dang heater in it. You had to plug it in at night so you could start it during the winter.
Well, he put new glow plugs in, he wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, but they require. At that time, I know he was every time he turned around, he was out to change them. I forget what year that was, but it was kind of a pain. There's always something with it.
Yeah, I never really had any problem with mine until I moved up to West Virginia. Then I found out I didn't have glow plugs working. Didn't even really need them down here.
Yeah. Well, you've noticed, if you go, a lot of times you go places where tractor trailers are, and then they're sleeping in the vehicle. Tractor trailers running. I don't think they ever cut them off.
Well, they don't locomotives because it costs more to restart them than just let them run.
Yeah. Most of the time when I've been to truck stops and stuff, usually they're sitting there running. That little Volkswagen they had, you drive it, it felt like you were lucky. If you actually could get up to 80 miles an hour, you were doing something.
Yeah, I think I was telling you about that one I drove. You put a ladder rack on top and an aluminum ladder, and you could not maintain 55 mile an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that one they had. I had to borrow it sometimes. Yeah, I think, 70 miles an hour going down the road, you're pushing things.
Yeah, 480 watt, 50.
And C40, yeah. But it did.
Be a 4 RH watt.
And N9DD.
N4ZOP.
Boy, you bunch of good sounding radio.
Pam, do you ever change your settings now? You like me, you just leave them alone.
You know, I've pretty much got them right where if I change microphones, I'll switch to that profile. But I'm pretty much dialed in and leave them alone.
Yeah, that's me. We spent all that time working on that stuff. I've got a profile for each mic, and rarely do I touch it.
Exactly.
I mean, it was fun doing all that, but I don't know how fun it was to everybody listening.
Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it, though.
Yeah, I did too. Remember, we were fine-tuning some of yours with the the spectroscope and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
I think we got reasonably good at doing that, because now I know what hertz sounds I hear are, and that's just, I shouldn't know that.
Yep, absolutely.
Too much.
And you still look good on the scope, Terry. Everything's nice and flat top and peaking about the same. It's just a beautiful thing.
Oh, okay. Well, nothing's been changed, and I hadn't changed anything in mine in a year and a half anyway, probably.
I was going to say, mine only gets changed when the cat comes in and bumps something.
I think Terry would sound good on a tin can and a string.
On a what?
Tin can and a string.
I don't know about all that.
You didn't ever put two tin cans or cups together when you were a kid and pull a string between them real tight and talk to them?
Oh, yeah, I remember me and my brother. I think I might have been 6 years old, something like that, and in the backyard, we had a couple of trees that we could climb pretty easy. And we'd get up in them trees and have our tin cans with a string across the, ever have so many, I don't know how far it was, maybe 50 feet. We sit in those trees and talk to each other through them tin cans.
There you go.
That was a blast.
And who'd have thunk it'd turn into ham radio someday?
Now, who would have thought? That was probably the initiation to it.
Terry, check your phone.
I didn't even fall out of the tree.
Terry, check your phone.
Okay. I heard something go off a while ago. Most time I just so much miss, I don't look at it.
Gasoline and kerosene that was accidentally sold at a convenience store is responsible for at least one of 4 blazes over 4 days, authorities said.
I'm surprised I don't remember that.
Trade Mart on Sunset Avenue sold 850 gallons of tainted gasoline.
I don't know, I hadn't read it yet, but I'm guessing somewhere in the 80s. I know where I'm thinking of where the Trade Mart was. Yeah. I know where that was now. I don't think it's there anymore. Well, 4 blazes over 4 days. They were lucky it wasn't more than that. Well, at least it was a mixture of gasoline and kerosene.
Yeah, it doesn't help a whole lot.
Maybe not quite as explosive anyway.
Boy, I had a rude awakening last night.
What happened, Andy?
I was laying there in bed sleeping good, and all of a sudden my doorbell started ringing and somebody started beating on the front door, and scared the heck out of me. I jumped up. I was in my skivvies and my socks, and I went to the door and opened it up, and 2 police officers standing there with their lights shining on me.
Huh. And what time was it in the morning?
Well, you know, our schedule's all goofed up the way we live, but it was probably about 9:30 at night. But it was, you know, caught me off guard. And ended up being a couple of high school friends of mine were just worried about me. They hadn't been able to get in touch with me. They called the police to come check on me.
That sounds a little bit, it's very good that they had good intentions. That just sounds a little strange, you know?
Yeah, I thanked the officers for doing it, and they said they just happy I was okay. And I thought, man, good gracious, I thought I was going to jail.
Yeah, it was one day I was just completely wore out, and I was taking care of my daddy and all that, and for some reason that day, I can say I was completely worn. I hadn't slept for a couple of days of any sleep, and I slept for like 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. You know, Daddy called my daughter and everything. Y'all need to come over here and check on Terry and make sure he's all right, you know.
That reminds me of the time I was sleeping and somebody started beating and banging on my door. And I grabbed my shotgun and went down there to see who was beating and banging on my door. And opened the door, and there was 2 Greenville PD officers standing out there. Said, "Sir, you don't need that shotgun." And I said, "Okay." And I laid it over there on the chair where I could grab it if I needed it. And there was some Hispanic person there that was drunk and thought they lived there where I was, and of course with the language barrier and everything, I said, "No, he's not here. He doesn't belong over this way." So I guess I could have gotten shot, but I had it pointed straight up and not at him.
Oh, you've got the right to carry that gun, policeman there or not. You don't even have to put it down, you know?
Well, I did put it down at their request.
What? Oh, it's your home.
Probably the smart thing to do.
Even with somebody coming up saying they're a cop, do you truly know they are, unless you can see the cars and everything else?
Well, they were in uniform, so that was one point in their favor.
That's been tried in Rocky Mount. 2 uniformed, supposedly cops coming to somebody's door. But if you saw the blue light and all that, no, you're probably pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think they had any blue lights going. I don't know if you can read things on the web on your phone or not, but I sent you the URL. I think I sent it to your email address too, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I looked at the fire stuff. Yep. There's so many folks out there, and people on the guard more than they used to be, and to think about it, they got nothing but time. They don't have jobs. So they sit there, nothing but time to plan a way. Hey, how can we get these people to open the door for us? And guess what? Cop uniforms are worn from them.
Was there a station out there trying to get in? I guess I'm hearing things.
I'm hearing something back in there, but I got the ADCT turned up pretty high, so not hearing a whole lot. I'm just sitting here looking at this page, Terry, and their article about fire in California, and in a strip mall. And they show the end of the strip mall. This dry cleaners would burn all up. Right next door to it's a gun shop. That had the potential to be a mess.
Oh, it did.
Imagine if some of that ammo had started kicking off.
Oh, man.
Everybody duck. In 481, midnight straight up.
But the good thing is, if you were to take an iron skillet frying pan out in the backyard over a campfire and just put bullets on them, and I'm gonna get hot enough to start firing. They don't really go any certain direction. They just sit there and blow up. There's nothing for it to push that pressure against, like in your barrel. So they really don't do what you think they would do. Wouldn't want to be there, but they really don't just fire and kill people.
Oh, I know, but I don't want to be anywhere close to it.
I don't either. I don't want to be close by. Put it this way. But I just said with a theory, and I don't want to be there to evaluate it.
I didn't know they had gun stores in California.
I don't even know how they would fire, Larry. I don't know if the
W4RA plus.
NC40 does. I don't know what the ignition point would be if it went in a fire like that. Would it be the primer that went off, or would just be internal the whole thing combust? I don't know. I'm being too analytical.
That is yes.
Well, you're making good points.
Well, I didn't exactly come up with that on my own, but there has been some actual, I guess, things done. Several people have actually done it in a safe environment and found out. They found out the potential of actually, maybe if you were close enough, the explosion could probably kill you,
I'm surprised Mythbusters didn't do something on that.
Yeah, me too. That would have been an interesting one. But I did see this on something on TV. That's where I got the whole idea. And I realized they're right because the ballistics are what makes it go. But I feel like it's still going to be, I guess it depends on the size of the shell. It's going to be popping and it's going to be blowing up. Now, I assume the lead would be the weakest point.
I know firemen evacuate the house if ammunition starts going off like that.
Oh, yeah. Most of the time, they go in, they have no idea. I mean, majority of people, at least here, everybody I know owns guns. So there's got to be ammunition,
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they would appreciate it if I let them know I had about 10,000 rounds before they went in. I would not want to go in my house if it was on fire. And that ain't, people say, well, that's a lot of rounds. It really ain't. People got an entire room when they did the reloading. The whole dang room is full of ammo. They didn't tell them how many rounds in there. But somebody goes to the range on a regular basis, and they spend hours down there when they go. You can shoot up some ammunition in a short period of time.
Oh, yeah. That gets expensive, too.
Yes, it does. That's why I started reloading, make it a little more affordable.
Yeah, but that sure does make your gun dirty.
Yeah, it does. Well, I love going. I don't like going in the summertime. It's just too dang hot. I can dress for the cool weather, even if it's fairly cold. Oh, the wind ain't blowing terribly and it's cold. I can dress for it. And I'd rather go in the winter, during cool months.
You what? Some of the ways some people act in these gun ranges, I'm scared to go in them.
Well, a lot depends which gun range you're going to. When I go to the Old Hickory Gun Club, and they have all the tournaments go on there, and the range is well supervised, and it's coordinated very well, and it's really very, very safe. It's the safest I've seen. So I don't see the potential. If I thought I was going to get shot, I wouldn't go. And I never felt like there was any danger of me being shot. Let's say you got 5 or 6 guys up there, and the range is hot. That means people are firing, Do not step in front of the tables and everything. But then the range is cold, and when the range is cold, all the chambers are open, all the revolvers, the cylinders open. Nothing is left in a way it could fire. So all that's done, and quick visual inspection. It don't take long to see whether somebody's got a cylinder open. And before we go down range, we know there's nothing that can shoot us while we're down there.
Yeah, it sounds like a well-supervised range.
Right, it is. It would take for that kind of thing to happen down there. It would be it has to be somebody. There's always a chance somebody that ain't quite mentally all there might be in there.
KU4 GW.
NC4GW. You wouldn't want to be down there, Andy, with a person that thought the aliens were coming and he started shooting.
Yeah, if somebody comes walking in with a tinfoil hat on, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
What y'all talking about, Terry? Didn't nobody wig out down at Shelby, did they? Not yet, anyway. I said, ain't nobody wigged out down at Shelby, was they? But Andy done said, no. Not yet, anyway. Who else still on? Just y'all? I think there's a group of us in here.
I'm back. W4H1.
I think Mike and Georgia's here. Larry, he just came on. Andy, you. I don't know who else.
Oh, okay. I figured everybody done about bailed out by now, but it is Friday night there, so I guess they started the radio a little bit.
Oh, yeah. It don't matter to me what night it is. I don't have a job, but for those who like Steve, it makes a difference.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Terry. I have a hard time keeping up with what day of the week it is, since I don't work anymore. A lot of times I'll have the days mixed up, and Mama say, what day you think it is?
Well,
Saturday. Every day is Saturday when you're retired.
Yeah. Unless I got doctor's appointments going on, that kind of thing, then I keep up with it. Of course, I want to show up at the right time in the right place, but if I don't have any doctor stuff going on in a month or something like that, yeah, some days I won't. If somebody were to ask me, the only reason I really know because my watch tells me what the time is and what the day is and what month it is and everything. That's my only salvation.
Oh man, you're so old-fashioned. You still wear a watch.
Yes, sir. How in the world can anybody just use their cell phone to keep up with time and everything? And it's so much easier just to look at your wrist. You ain't got to pull nothing out or anything.
I wore one every day when I was working, but as soon as I retired, I had worn that watch one day.
Really? I use my watch really not to keep it. I mean, if I don't have anywhere to go particularly, I don't just use it for time. I use when I'm cooking and doing things like that, I use a stopwatch on my watch and everything, the time thing, stuff like that. I use my timer more than I do anything else.
And 480, 1211.
54 John.
K4GW.
It will keep you from burning something in the oven sometimes if you got a stopwatch.
I used to wear or carry a pocket watch all the time when I still worked because that job I had, you constantly was getting stuff all over your hands, and so you couldn't keep a wristwatch clean.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that comment that Larry had made before. If you go to Walmart, where the jewelry department is, they still sell a lot of watches. I don't think they're gone yet.
Yeah, I like them little Casio data bank watches, and it's got the calculator on them.
Yeah. My daughter has got a watch, and hers keeps up with all kinds of stuff. How many steps she made that day, her heart rate, all kinds of stuff it does.
No, she got one of them smart watches.
Yeah. Yeah, she can even, my nickname for her now is Dick Tracy because she can talk on her watch. Remember Dick Tracy? He'd be talking into his watch.
Yeah, it makes me think of Maxwell Smart talking into his shoe.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I didn't really like Maxwell that much. What was his girlfriend's name? I liked her better.
Oh, 99.
Yeah, I like 99.
Yeah, they made a movie not too long ago, a remake of that old show with somebody else playing in it. I never have seen it, but I'd like to see it. It'd probably be pretty funny.
Yeah, it probably would. Most of those remakes, I don't care too much for. I'd like to watch the entire thing. I used to love when I was a kid. I don't know how old I was when that was popular. I must have been a teenager though. I don't think I was that young. That was a good show.
Which one? Get Smart?
Yeah, Get Smart. I don't know how good it would be to me now as an adult looking at it, but back then I really liked it. And it came out. What was the other one that came out with that was kind of a copy of that? Agent Gadget or something?
Yeah, the cartoon.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, boy, that's been a while. I like Mr. Magoo.
And yes, Get Smart. And the time it came out, it was all the ideas and things they used in it. That was way before we had all these computers in our homes and before there were cell phones or any of that. And some of the stuff they used was pretty. They were kind of looking into the future for some of those ideas.
Yeah, you would think that by now they would have thought of everything, but they still come out with new stuff all the time, new inventions.
Well, I kind of think it's like doctors in a way there, Cliff. A doctor, the best doctor out there, it's the most highly educated one, may know 1% of what there is to know. I mean, and I think as far as technology, kind of the same. There's no end to it.
Yeah, they got some kind of rule of physics or something that had to do with microprocessors, how much smaller they could make them each year. But I think they pretty much well got to the point now that, if they make them much smaller, people ain't going to be able to see them. To do, like screens and stuff like that.
Yeah. I remember in the 80s one time, I had seen this said, heard it said by a lot of people, they were talking about the speed of computers. By the time that the 386s came out, they said, well, they're not going to be able to be much faster because it's going to be moving so fast on that board that they're not going to be able to contain it. That was actually, guys who knew what they were talking made that statement.
Yeah, Cliff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what you're referring to is called Moore's Law.
Oh, okay. I'm going to check it out on Wikipedia, see what it says about it.
Yeah, I think the short version is that processor speed doubles every 18 months or something like that. I forget exactly how it's stated, but that came out with Moore's Law, and you already can't see the transistors in the processor now. I mean, a modern day processor, I think, are approaching 1 trillion transistors. I know there's at least 1 billion in there, and maybe up to 1 trillion now.
It says that the number of transistors in an IC doubles every 2 years.
Yeah, I couldn't remember exactly what it stated, but that sounds good to me.
I've seen some of those integrated circuits or stories about them, where the person that designed it, they had etched a little logo or their name or something in the chip to identify, that they was the one that come out with it. But the only way you could see it was to look at it under a microscope.
As advanced as it seems to be, I'm sure we're only scratching the surface.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can't have see to solder or anything anymore, anything small. And when it comes to the surface mount stuff, they've got a paste you can buy. You just squirt a drop of it on each side of one of those and just touch it with iron, and it's like that stuff is attracted to the chip and the board. It just goes right to it, almost instantly. I might have put one in under with one of those jar headbands on. But as far as trying to solder it with like if you had to do it with regular solder, I'd make a mess. What I'd make, KU4GW.
Yeah, some of those boards and things on my AL1500, and the major boards, the bleeder resistors, capacitor boards, all that kind of stuff, fine, I can do that. But all the little boards like timer boards and several other ones in there, I'm not going to even attempt. They had one of the boards at the back that had the relays on it. I said, nope, I just need to order the board.
That'd be a 481.
NC40 job.
N480Y. I got to run for now. Catch y'all later, Cliff, Terry, and everybody. I'll talk to you. N480Y 73.
Not in it.
Not in yet. Yeah, wish I'd got on a little earlier there. Which I was on earlier segment, but I took a break for a while. Anyway, good to hear you, and you have a good evening there.
See you later.
All right, keep the guys on 92 straight.
Oh boy, that's a full-time job.
I'll
see you later.
I'll see you later.
Cliff, you got your hot air soldering iron yet?
Oh, no. No, I'd like to have one of those rework stations, they call them. I did buy me one of the temperature-controlled ones. I've been trying to talk Dale Mash's niece out of getting that one he had. That one I got, it don't have the digits on it for the temperature. It just has colors or different colors around the heat knob. But that one he had the digital readout, would tell you the exact temperature. I like to have one like that because you can get that eutectic solder that has the same melting. It melts and solidifies at about the same temperature. If I had one of those, I could set that temperature exactly what it needs to be for that kind of soldering.
Yeah.
You
That's
gotta
all
be
the soldering I do now. I do big solder. I mean, I may put bleeder resistors in an amp or.
That's the reason I stopped using, that copper braid that you do solder with. I quit using that stuff because I lifted the full trace off the board trying to use it and wound up having to put a jumper wire in there to replace the trace I ruined. And so I ain't using that. Now, I got me one of those desoldering irons up at the Radio Shack when they was still in business. It looks like a regular pencil soldering iron, but it's got a little thing that runs down the side of the iron that's got a rubber squeeze bulb on it. And that thing really works good. It'll take every bit of that solder off the board in a second.
Yeah. The only soldering I'm going to do is going to be the big stuff now, like bleeder resistors, the big capacitors and amps. I've never been really, really great at it, but I can see okay, and I don't shake that much, but I just, at the point that I don't feel, I don't know. If it ain't big stuff, I just don't mess with it.
Same here. And a lot of those kits you buy now, they'll have the small stuff like that already on the board when you get the kits. They run it through an oven and melt all the surface mount stuff onto the board. So you don't have to bother with this little stuff like that. Unless you'd be troubleshooting one with it, and it'd be about the only way you'd ever have to mess with it. And I'm gonna leave that up to somebody else. That's like this radio here. It's got so many ribbon cables and stuff like that, and those things are easy to damage and break. And so if it tears up, I'm sending it to Byron Campbell. I'm not gonna try and work on it.
Yeah. Maybe the smart way to go.
Yeah, I thought about over a week ago that DSP board was going out in this radio. And it turned out that all it was that splitter that I had on the external speaker had went to the bad. I've got a wire running off of it to the speaker, and then I've got another one that runs off of it over to the mic input on the computer so I can record. And that thing went to the bad. But I bought a pack of those things. I think it was like 5 or 6 of them in a pack. And it was some of that made in China stuff. I got it off of eBay. Every single one of them has went to the bad. So they wasn't very good to begin with. Little stuff like that. Get it made in the USA if you can.
Yeah, well, things like that, I've learned on cables and stirrers, all that kind of stuff. It don't pay to try to save money on those. You go ahead and buy the best you can get when you buy it.
Absolutely. We found that out last year when we were playing with those Behringer mixers. We had to get those expensive cables that Tim found up in... whoa, my cat's moving my thing. Had to get those expensive cables up in New York.
Well, I've learned that when I get anything to do with any audio or speakers or anything, I go ahead and order the best I can find. I mean, like you say, you end up saving money doing it that way.
Yeah, and I got a bunch of those audio cables, and last ones I got, they're okay for using on something in your house, you know, where it's not going to be moved around and stuff. But they're not any good for using on anything that's ever going to have any movement to it, because the way they fit into the jack on the computer, they're not tight. They don't fit tight, and if you bump them, you know, it'll cut out on you. But it works okay for, like I use them for digital, you know, on this interface. But I wouldn't want to try and take them out, use them on no portable radio or something like that, or mobile, because they just ain't make good. And I've got a bunch that are good ones, though, that fit real tight. But they were made in the USA, and the ones that's like that, some of them ones I got from China.
Yeah.
The only thing I got from China that's good is a bottle of Trump hat. I got me a Trump 2020 Keep America Great hat from Hong Kong for $3, including shipping.
I got one for my birthday. It was a gift, so I didn't pay anything for it.
Yeah, I knew they was them ones they had on his website. They were, I think, like $25 or $30 for a hat. I'm like, that's kind of steep for a hat, you know. If they're not just selling to make money, they're raising money to help pay for campaigning and stuff like that off of them too. But he said the way you could tell the authentic ones from the bootleg ones is the underneath part on the bill on all his is colored green. He said if it's not green, it's not no authentic hat from his company or whoever sells them for him. Anyway, I went and got that one I had and looked to see what color it was, and it was red just like the rest of the hat was.
I don't know. I have to go check mine, see what color mine is. The underside of the bill is supposed to be green, you say?
Yeah. Yeah, if it's green, you got one of the expensive ones.
Ain't paying $30 for a hat.
No, I mean, that company called Cafe Press or Astrid's Embroidery, they make a lot of ham radio stuff and different ham radio clubs look like coffee mugs and t-shirts and hats and stuff like that. They want like, I think $27 for a t-shirt. I ain't paying $27 for a t-shirt. No way.
I'm either. Especially if something I can't put my hands on. You know, there are some t-shirts that are made exceptionally well, but they're more like for winter use. They're heavier duty, etc. They're worth more, but it still ain't worth $30.
Yeah, no, when I worked that VK Zero station, it was what was the name of that island? They was down in Antarctica. When I worked them on 30 meters, they had stuff you could buy, and they had coffee mugs and shirts, and their QSL cards were $5. Well, I wanted one of the QSL cards, and it's like more like a folder. It folds out, you know. It's got 3 or 4 pages to it, and it's got pictures of the whole team, and it tells about the planning of the trip and all that stuff. Now, I didn't mind paying that, you know, because, see, they used that money to help pay for the DXpedition, and those DXpeditions are crazy expensive. If it wasn't for places like that Northern California DX Foundation and a lot of these other ham radio DX clubs, they wouldn't be able to afford to go on a lot of those things that they go on. So, you know, that was raising money to help reimburse for some of the money that the club had paid out. And, you know, the coffee mugs, I think they were $20. It was a big one. It was black with the real pretty logo on it like they had on their website. But I didn't want to pay $20 for the coffee mug, so I didn't get one of those. All I wanted was a QSL card for my collection, and I got it.
W4RHY. Mine's red.
Okay, for GW. Okay, it's probably made in China like mine then. I wish they wouldn't put them in flat bubble wrap envelopes, though. I had to stick mine on the bottom of a milk jug and leave it on it for about a week to get the shape of the hat back like it needed to be.
Well, mine was a gift, and it came, you know, like it was packed in a box or something. It's not, it wasn't folded flat, so mine came in good shape.
Yeah, I don't guess they could sell them for $3 and ship them from Hong Kong if they put them in a box. It'd cost them a lot more to mail them. And, you know, Trump's talking about pulling us out of some kind of World Postal Service thing, that organization. I got an email back the other day wanting you to email your congressman or senator to try and get them to pass something to keep that from going through. Said it would hurt businesses if they pulled out of that postal thing.
I don't keep up with the news, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I got one from AT&T employees trying to get you to sign the petition to support their strike. You know, some of them were on strike this past week, and I didn't want to sign it because, well, for one thing, I feel like those guys get paid pretty good now. But the main reason was because the CEO got a guy up there to get somebody out here and fix my internet for me that had been tore up for 6 days, and then I got my telephone bill. It was $1.75. So he knocked off over $90 on my telephone bill and phone bill for it being messed up for them 6 days. So I didn't want to sign no petition against them after them doing that for me.
Well, I can understand that.
Yeah, I kept that guy's name and phone numbers in the corporate office in Chicago because he told me if I had any more problems not to call customer service, to call him directly. So I'm going to hang on to that.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing to have handy. I don't have anything AT&T here, so it wouldn't do me any good, but yeah, keep that around. You might need that again one day. In fact, you probably will.
Oh, I had a guy call today. It said on my caller ID, spam, suspected spam, and it was somebody from Spectrum trying to sell me Spectrum internet, and it was a scammer, I think, because they don't even have a cable here. I mean, it ain't even up here in the area where I live at.
Well, if it's not available, yeah, that definitely sounds like it would be suspect. I've got Spectrum here, and I have ended up with everything I've got on Spectrum. My phone is on Spectrum, my internet, my TV, all of it's on Spectrum. And at this point, I really can't complain. I've had them for several years now, and they've given me decent service, so I really can't complain. I just hope it stays that way.
Yeah, I wish they'd run the cable up here. It's like a mile and a half. No, it's probably 2 miles from here to the nearest one of those green amplifier boxes I've seen in somebody's yard. But see, when I moved up here, there wasn't many houses up here. It was a new development. But there's a lot of houses up here now. I mean, they could run the cable up here now and get lots of customers. I wish they would. I'd love to have that because I'd get super fast internet then.
Yeah, I think when I do a speed test, mine comes up to 200, which is absolutely as fast as I need it to be. That's probably twice as fast as what I actually need, but I'm not going to back it down. That'll be a 4 o'clock.
Yeah, no, that voice over IP telephone service, it don't use much bandwidth, but it uses 100 kilohertz. And anyway, I've only got 3 megabytes. That's my internet speed, which I just recently got that. It was just 1.5. And you wouldn't think it would even work, but 3 megs works just fine for streaming video, off that Fire Stick I got. And it don't have to stop and buffer or anything. It works real well. I'm surprised it does. Now I can watch live shows like the news, and it won't buffer at all. But when it goes to the commercials that they show during the commercial break, the commercials will stop and buffer. I don't know why they do. You would think that the live stream would use more bandwidth than an ad would, but I guess it don't. Anyway, thankfully, they only show about a third as many ads on streaming as they do on regular television. So I don't have to watch but my 2 ads in there when there's a commercial break, where if I was on direct TV still yet, they would usually show 6 ads when they take a commercial break. I think I'm going to get on the side here. I'm fixing to pull the plug. It's about 20 to 1 already. So I think I'll go ahead and say 7-3 and go in here and watch a little TV. Have a good night, Larry and Terry and anybody else still listening. I'll talk to y'all later. KU4GW is clear.
All right. W3, W4HY.
Hey, Cliff. Ready to hear you tonight? Had a lot of fun there, Walt. Take care of yourself. I'm going to hang around for a few more minutes. I'm going to head out too, I think.
Have a good night. November 9, Delta, Delta.
Internet as I speak on the radio, and it's been a while since I've been on this long, I believe. So I just kind of enjoying myself.
I'm glad you are.
I don't know if there's still somebody in the background there or not. Anybody else?
This is Mike. I'm still listening. November 9, Delta, Delta down here in Atlanta.
Where is that?
I'm down here in Atlanta, just south of the city of Atlanta in Stockbridge, Georgia, NN9DD.
Oh, Atlanta. Okay. You weren't not pronouncing it like a local, so I was having difficulty understanding. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. I need to learn to speak Atlanta.
Yeah, he's a northern transplant, I do believe, Larry.
Yeah, Nine-lander. Indiana, Illinois, up that way.
Originally got licensed while I was in Wisconsin back in high school, and then lived in Chicago for a long time. So Chicago and Illinois and Wisconsin.
Yeah, Roger. Was it? Who was the big outfit up there in Chicago that used to do the mail order electronics parts? Was it? Oh man, I can't remember now.
Yeah. That just is a difference of way, in the way you talk compared to a Georgian down there. I was thinking about Cliff and when he talks. A lot of times it's interesting to, Cliff lives up in the hills, and he's got, uses a lot of words that are different than I do. And one word that I like that he uses, and I don't use it, but I may pick it up, because he says, I'm wanting to do something. And I'm saying, how do you spell that? W-O-N-T-I-N? Wanting. That's actually a pretty good abbreviation instead of saying wanting to.
One of my favorites is I'm fixing to do this.
Yeah, fixing. Most of the time you see a lot of mountain people do more of that kind of talking. Of course, I've heard that before locally, but sometimes I will just sit back and listen to Cliff and just kind of pick out some of these things he says. But I really was impressed with the combination of those two words. I'm wanting to do it. That's pretty good.
Relation to Atlanta.
What's that?
I say, where are you in relation to Atlanta?
I'm about 25 miles straight south of downtown, so I'm about, I'm 17 miles southeast of the airport.
Roger. Yeah, I worked for a company that had a training facility at Peachtree City, so you're probably not far from there, I would guess, because I was thinking that was in that direction. But I spent time down that way. I think it's last I heard it was Pitney Bowes training center, but it's been years since I knew what was going on down there.
Yeah, I'm about probably 15 miles due east of Peachtree City. I'm in Stockbridge, Georgia. So Peachtree City is kind of right in the middle of the 675 and 85. They kind of take off from the airport at different angles. And Peachtree City is right in the middle, and I'm just off the 675. So I'm about 15 miles east of Peachtree.
Yeah, like I say, I spent a fair amount of time down there because they would send us down there depending on what course we were taking. It could be anywhere from 1 week to 3 weeks down there. I was down there one time, and they told us not to go around the dining hall after 6 o'clock one evening, and they wouldn't give us any further information. We were just not allowed to be in the dining hall, so I planted myself outside the dining hall and just kind of stood there, and some of the guests that were using the dining hall came out and started conversing with me, so I felt like that was legal. I didn't approach them. And come to find out, it was a party they were having that was part of a movie that they were shooting down there in that area. And I asked them what the name of the movie was, and she told me what the name of it was, and I thought to myself, man, that will never be popular. Nobody, I mean, that's a weird name for a movie. The name of the movie was Fried Green Tomatoes.
Yeah, you missed on that one. It was a hit.
Yeah. There's a lot of things in life I missed on like that. That's just one of them.
Amen to that. We all miss those. We all miss those opportunities every now and then. Yeah, there's they just shoot an incredible amount of movies down here, and it seems like it's just picking up speed. The other day I was driving around town and I saw 8 different movie sets. I was counting that day, and there was 8 different movie sets in play that day.
Yeah. Well, the thing I remember from Fried Green Tomatoes that impressed me the most. So the investigator went down there, the first one, but he disappeared. Another one came in, and you know they had made, from my understanding watching the movie, they had made barbecue out of the other guy. And the new guy was eating some of that stuff. He said, you know what, this is the best barbecue I've ever had.
Yeah, I remember that part.
I just thought that's what... I remember that more than the other. They had made barbecue out of that guy.
Well, it's been so long ago since I saw the movie, I don't even remember what it was about exactly. So y'all are telling me stuff that I didn't remember. But yeah, I thought it was real interesting that that was the movie they were shooting down there at that time. This would have been back in the maybe 80s or 90s, perhaps in the early 90s. I don't remember exactly when it was now, but I used to go down there on a pretty regular basis. They sent me down there one time to do, for 3 weeks, to learn MS-DOS. Now, I'd already taught myself MS-DOS and was pretty good at it. I went down there and I ended up being number 1 in the class. I showed the teacher some tricks that they didn't know. When it got time to reformat all the computers that all the class people were using, they told me not to reformat mine because I'd put a bunch of shareware on mine and was playing with a bunch of different things, and they wanted to look at my computer. A couple, 3 years later, they called me up and said, hey, You want to come down here? We need somebody to, after hours, to tutor students. We got a class coming in that they've been through the course one time before, and we need somebody down here to help them out so they can pass the DOS class. So I spent 3 more weeks down there in DOS school. All expense paid, meals, travel, everything. So that was kind of fun. If you like DOS.
Yeah, I've just about got DOS mastered now. When is Windows coming out? No, I learned a lot about DOS when it was around, and then switched over to Windows when it came out, and it's getting too hard to keep up. This new codes and web-based internet or web-based applications and stuff like that. It's all out of my league now. I got to leave that to the pros.
Well, I stuck with DOS up until Windows 95 came out, and Windows 95 had the features that I needed to convince me it was time to switch over. With mainly the taskbar down at the bottom. That was one of the biggest things that convinced me it was time to change over. So when they came out with 95, I went ahead and started formatting machines, and accidentally found out that if you added more memory that Windows would run faster. I came out with that before anybody else did. None of the publications I was reading, nobody knew that adding more memory to Windows would actually increase the speed. So that's what I started advising all my friends. Put as much memory in your computer as you can get in there, that it'll run faster.
So you're the one who cost me all that money, because I added as much as I could, and it was expensive back in those days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm the one, but, talk about expensive. A few years ago, they came out with a, what do you call it? Anyway, you got some of your money back because I had a class action lawsuit. And I ended up getting about $50 back because of all the memory I had bought over the years, and I documented it and sent it in, and like I say, I ended up getting about $50 back.
And what'd you spend? Probably $50,000.
Well, it wasn't that much, but it was a lot. Probably $5,000 or $8,000, I would guess.
Yeah, no, it was expensive back in those days, and I guess it still is now. It's just relatively speaking, back then you were getting 512 mega or K, and getting up to 1 megabyte RAM and thinking you were the cat's meow. And now, I think the machine I'm sitting on right now, I got 32 gigabyte.
Well, I think about back in the 80s, and when I was really starting to get in messing with computers and stuff, and you think about what you paid for a computer then, the amount of the hard drive you had. If you had a 100 megabyte hard drive, you were doing something. And think about what you had and the cost. And of course, we got inflation going on. These computers are cheaper now.
Oh, monster. I mean, I think my first computer was an Apple IIe or something like that. And if I'm not mistaken, it had a 10 megabyte hard drive and 512K of RAM or something like that. Maybe it was 256, but almost no RAM, only 10 megabyte hard drive, and your external drive was a floppy drive, and that was considered high end.
Yeah. And I had some software one time, and they combined your hard drive. Say you had a 100 megabyte hard drive, and to compute this program with programs you didn't use a lot and things like that, you would end up putting on your 512 disk or whatever. I think it was 512, and I hadn't used one so long. But No, that was use that in combination with your hard drive.
Yep.
Look how fast it changed from a 10 megabyte hard drive to these gigabyte things and what we got now.
Well, even, look at the internet speeds. We were talking about that earlier tonight, or you guys were, and I was listening. Cliff was saying he's got 3 gigabyte upload or 3 megabyte upload or whatever it is. And now standard with Charter, I meant to jump in and tell him he just needs to go talk to his cable company, because my bet is they got a faster modem for him that they wouldn't even charge him for and triple his speed. Because most are offering 20, but my standard right now with Charter, is 200 megabytes is the minimum you'll get, and I've got 2 400 megabytes in the house, one for work, one for play and streaming for the kids and everything. So, just the speed of the internet over the last 10 years has, tenfold much faster.
Yeah. It seems like it's easier to keep up with it now. I mean, it seems like now if you buy a computer and it's fairly up to date, it's a fairly fast one for the moment. You can use it for more years over a longer period of time before it, gets obsolete, so to speak.
Yeah, a friend of mine was in the market for a new computer last week or a couple of weeks ago, and he called me up and said, "What should I get? What should I get?" And he told me what he was looking at, and it was like an 8-core i7 9400 hertz or something like that. It was 32 gigabyte of RAM and 1 terabyte of solid state drive, and it was just a scary fast machine. And, I went over and helped him set it up, and I just told him, because he's probably about 65, I said, Fred, you bought the last computer you're going to need to buy, because unless technology changes dramatically in the next 20 years, assuming you live that long, this one's going to handle it.
Yeah. And like I say, the change, even though they're changing, and they change a lot every day, I assume it's just not doubling and doubling and doubling so often,
Yeah, I mean, and, I think part of it is the practicality of going, because the transactions per second are in the billions of transactions per second that these processors are handling. One, it's hard to double and go from 20 billion to 40 billion transactions, but you don't notice it. The average processor or the average person can't see the difference in nanoseconds. So there's really no incentive to up that. I think that's why you've seen increases in internet speed, because that helps the computing go faster, because you can get the data off the stream faster. But it's the computers are so fast now, it's hard for the human to notice it. You have to measure it with a very accurate program.
Yeah. I know the computer I probably built maybe 6 years ago. It's still capable of doing what if I was to switch back to it, it can still do everything I really want to do.
Yeah, I think I in the shack here got one computer that's about probably 5 or 6 years old. I got one computer that's about 2 years old, and I got one that's less than a year old, and they all can do anything the other can do. It's just a matter of on the oldest one, the processor when you're streaming video is working at 60 or 70%. On the one I'm on right now, when I'm streaming video, it's at 3%. So it's just a matter of how much processor you're using and how much the system bogs down. But they all can still do the job.
Yeah. I've got a nice Southern, and I couldn't tell you. I don't remember everything else involved, but even when I'm running the Anon radio, and just say I'm running a dang antivirus scan or something like that, I might see 5%,
Absolutely. Like I probably should have told you this. I'm streaming live on the internet right now, and I'm streaming this live. I got my Flex running on this, YouTube running on this, and then the program that runs between those two. and it's 3% is what my processor speed is at right now.
And my normal, if I got a lot going on, it'll get up to about 5, sometimes 6%. Sometimes, most time, like you're saying, it may be 3 or 4. You know.
Oh yeah, and you got a fast computer, if I remember right, based on the conversations we had last year. So, yeah, and your radio puts a lot more processing on your computer, so mine's in the thing. So that's probably why I'm 3 and you're 6, is where the processing of the deep DSP and stuff is going.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I got this computer is my older one would run it fine. But every now and then I would have glitches on it pretty often, you know, and I'd have to reboot and all that kind of stuff. But it worked okay on it. But this one, I mean, I think when I looked at my CPU usage on that one, I was probably using on up there maybe 30%.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's, you know, I'm going to look at mine and see what it says right now. But, you know, and even 30%, you still got 70% of the untapped resources. You know, it's not till you get up above 70 where you really start to see it impact performance.
Yeah, and I think part of it is I've got it where I got an SD hard drive and also you know, faster RAM and more RAM, and altogether it just works a lot better.
Yeah, no, I think that's the key right there. Is I you know, had kind of plateaued on my performance. I chucked them all full of RAM, and you know, they were doing good that way. And then a couple of years ago, I went out and got my first solid state drive, and I said, "Wow, that really sped things up." So now all my computers run on multiple solid state drives, and they're so much faster. They boot up in probably a third the time or less.
Yeah. My boot up time right now is, I mean, until I actually see, you know, the very first sign of the page is 30 seconds.
How do I find your live stream?
Just go out to YouTube and search November 9 Delta NN9DD, and you'll find you'll see my channel. And then there's one that says it's live right now. I think it's called 80 Meter with Freinds 3895.0. So you'll see it right there under NN9DD.
Yeah. I see that. Let me click on it.
Larry's trying to talk me into building one now. The prices, he said, have really gone down on some of the components. You can do it now, more affordably. Curious to see if that would continue, because I really like putting together a computer, but when I bought this one, I knew what I wanted, or the components, did the research, and I priced what it would take me to put one together and build it. And then I went to another site and looked at theirs and saw what it had everything I really wanted in one. And I could get it for $300 less than what I could build the thing for.
Oh, yeah. I used to build all of my own computers, and then about probably 7-8 years ago, maybe a little longer ago than that even, I gave up building.
The sin is more like a case that I would buy to put one in. There's plenty of room in it. You know, you can get all the components come in and out just like I built it. So a little better cable routing than what I would do, but it was something I could actually work on and upgrade if I needed to.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to fix my foot pedal. It stopped working there for a minute. It goes into transmit, but it doesn't throw the transmitter audio out. But anyway, it's going now. I used to build all my own PCs, and I gave up about probably 8-10 years ago because you can't build them as cheap anymore as they're making them, and they're pretty fast systems. You know, the only thing you got to put up with is the HP software or the Dell software, you know, and I usually go ahead and reformat the hard drive before I ever put anything on it and just put a clean Windows operating system and all as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a smart way to go. Yeah, matter of fact, I didn't do that with this one, but I think if I haven't have a problem with this one and have to redo stuff from scratch, that would be the way I would go.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I haven't bought or made one in a long time. I bought a lot of video cards and boosted them up, or RAM and boosted them up, or hard drives and boosted them up. But I haven't actually bought a motherboard and built one from scratch in a long time. And, I don't know. I don't miss it. It was fun, but, now I value my time. I'd rather sit here and talk than tinker with motherboards.
Well, I just built one. I got the itch, and I was the same way. I went for years and built all my computers, and then I found out I could get refurbs. And, by the time you factored in the cost of the processor and the cost of the Windows license, you had the cost of the refurb. I mean, we didn't even have to count the rest of the parts. So, but I got the itch to build one, so I built me an AMD system with an AMD graphics card, and I got a 1 terabyte NVMe drive in it. So I've got it sitting here running, and it's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, my latest thing is I want to build one of those cube PCs, the little tiny, what do they call them? I just lost the name of them, but they're about the size of a 6x6 box and about 2 inches thick.
Well, you got a Nook, then you got the Raspberry Pi. I'm not sure which neighborhood you're in, but you know what? Are you talking about a Nook?
Yeah, it's a Nuke, or a Nook, N-U-C. That's the one I've been looking at lately. I got a Raspberry Pi over there, and I've just never taken the time to figure it out. I'll put the program. I can run my SDR play on it and stuff like that, and do my video streaming on it and stuff like that. But I've never really taken the time to learn to program it. But a Nuke is what I want to get and play with one of those.
Yeah, I keep an eye on them. I haven't really had a desire to get one right offhand. There's a Labor Day sale on Newegg right now, and they've got an AMD unit that's on sale for $150. But I just don't have the great desire to play with one of those.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I want it for other than just to see what the performance of it is. I mean, because you can get a whole one and build it up and chuck it full of RAM and stuff, and they got little components for it. I mean, I think they're $300 or $400 fully loaded.
Well, there again, depends on what components you put in it. That one on Newegg is you have to put your processor in there, and you end up having to put in an APU, one of the newer APUs in there. Of course, they got the new 3000 APUs are out now too. Was it 3200 and 3400? Or you can go back to the 2000 series, the 2200 and the 2400. So depends on how much money you want to spend, and they typically take SODIMMs, so you get some laptop memory and throw in there. So it all depends on how much you want to invest in it. The neat thing about them is they're Visa mount, and I've always thought it would be cool to mount one on the back of a monitor, and you just have everything right there. You don't have to, you don't have another box to worry with.
Well, when I worked in healthcare, that was kind of what a lot of hospitals were doing, is having these, well, they called them they were Weiss terminals, which are a little bit different, but the same basic thing. It was just a small remote PC running off a network, and they were just on the backs of monitors and on, little carts so that nurses could take them right to the rooms and chart right there, real time with the patient, and it's kind of the same principle.
Yeah, I was noticing that the doctor that I go to, I think they're using the Surface Pros.
There we go. I got my audio back. Yeah, a lot of them, I've seen them on Surface Pros, iPads, interfacing with the hospital network so that doctors can chart on their iPads. So they're finding all kinds of ways to access the system and make it work.
Yeah, I don't know if it's on your end or my end, but it looks like that the video is slightly out of focus. Can you tell me anything about that?
I think it's a setting on my end. It says check the video resolution. It's 1152 by 648, which is not optimal. So, yeah, it's probably on my end, and I need to go in and find a setting that works a little bit better, which I can do. But I see that you're in there, and it's kind of annoying to listen to. I usually just run it, and then if I want to go, or I let people, listen on. A lot of people like to hear themselves, and we used to do a lot of this, but we'd listen to ourselves on other SDR radios, when we were doing the audio a year ago. But I just run this sometimes and let people hear themselves. They get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I had to mute the audio so that I could hear myself think. I'd get myself confused if I sit there and listen to myself come back on the radio. But I did find you, and been sitting here watching for a few minutes, and looks like it says 2 watching. I guess that's you and me.
That's what I'm assuming. I mean, I've got a bunch of people who are subscribers that when I do this, they all jump on because they want to get on and hear themselves. So I don't think I count as a subscriber, but I might.
I don't know. I show you have 13 subscribers.
Yep, that sounds about right. Not going to make any money doing it that way, am I?
Guys, I enjoyed it. Larry, great to hear you on, and Mike, I hope you make a very often appearance here, and can't see you, but I hear you. And sometimes I get a little mouthy now. I've quit smoking, and my nerves have been a little on the tore up side. I've been known to say a lot of words faster than I used to say them. Anyway, both of y'all have a great night, and C4TJ.
Have a good one, Terry. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, I'm going to try to get on at least a couple of nights a week and say hello and get my priorities back in order here for the winter season there. So have a good night, and we'll look for you again, NC4TJ and N9DD.
Yes, sir. It's absolutely great to be on the radio. And
we'll talk to you later. W4RHY.
All right, Larry. Well, it's absolutely great to be on the radio, Mike and Larry, because, I've got good friends here, and even though I haven't met some of you that I talk to, a lot of them, a lot of the people on this frequency I have. I met Larry, and numerous other ones up here, him in Chesapeake, John Watson. I know and have met at least a half of the ones that I talk to on this frequency, and I don't know. It's just I went a period of time for a whole year and didn't really cut on the radio, and I did miss it. Have a great night, and C4TJ.
Yep, have a good one, Terry, and we'll look for you another night. NN9DD on the side listening.
Yeah, Mike, you were talking about streaming, and you kind of had my curiosity up before you explained, because not many people I hear on here talk about streaming, and I watch a lot of YouTube, and I watch a lot of the content creators and what they have to say, and about streaming and about what YouTube is doing, and etc. And
Okay, I'm restarting the feed, so we'll see if it shows up here. There we go. It's starting to feed and load it. We'll see if it goes.
Yeah, it was showing 360p before, and let's see here. It looks about the same to me. Let me see what resolution I'm looking at.
I've got it set for 1920 by 1080 on your screen size. So if you got a 4K monitor, you might want to dumb it down. But 4K should handle that. It's generally if you're lower. But yeah, I'm running 1920 by 1080 right now.
Yeah, there we go. That picked it up. Well, your screen resolution, which you were just describing, doesn't really equate to what we're doing over on YouTube, and we have to look at different resolutions there. I just got it set for 1080. When you made your changes, the 1080 option came up. And I had to reset my end to adapt to the 1080. And there goes your mouse across the screen. Of course, there's a big delay there, but I am getting a better looking picture now than what I was.
All right, well that's good to know. Yeah, no, I have been doing this for maybe a month or so, just messing with it and trying to play with it. You know, my goal is to start doing some webcasts and just recordings and put them online so people can come back and listen to themselves. You know, I guess ideally I want to broadcast. I do a lot of contesting, is live stream a whole contest this way and let people come back and watch themselves with their contacts at the end of the contest, just to kind of say they did. And just, I guess, like I said, people just want to hear themselves, and they like hearing it. So, that's my thing. And, start doing some podcasts. And I've also got a company that I'm starting. It's called Ham Radio Support Online. It's hrso.net is the website. And, it's going to be supporting, Flex and on, other software-defined radios or even non-software-defined radios, but kind of a third-party support person for ham radio. I don't expect I'll get rich. If I get any customers, it'll be a miracle. But, just something to play with and put a name out there, I guess. Over.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I want to keep up with how you do with that. I am also running a Flex, so it's the earlier version of what you're doing there. You're in the 6000 series of radios, judging from the software, and I'm running the 5000, so I'm running the older software. I kind of prefer that over this other software. I just seem to have a little better control, and I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it just seems to suit me better than what the version of software that you're running. So I've got the old, was it Power SDR? Is that what this? Yeah, Power SDR is what I'm running, and I tend to like it a little better. W4XY.
W4XY and N9DD returning. Yeah, no, I had a Flex 3000 before I got the 6000, and there's a lot. I liked that software. There was a lot more adjustability and controllability in it. Smart SDR is good, and it made it a lot simpler to the average user. But, for those who like to tinker, and I'm one of them, the other software was fun. And every now and then I keep thinking about going and getting a used 5000 off the market and getting it, or even, picking up an Anon like Terry's got, or, one of the lesser models even, pick up a 200D or something. And just have it, because it runs, a version of Power SDR, HP SDR, I think is what it's running. So it's just a version of it. And getting back to the roots, so to speak. There, over.
Yeah. Can you? One thing that might be good is for you to take the URL of the page there that you brought up, your support page, and put it down here in your description, since you obviously have a live page at this point, and that way folks that find your page can just click on it and go over to your support page.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of work to do on this website. It was just thrown together real quick. But yeah, I want to get a counter out there and tracking so I know who's logging in, where they're logging in from, where they're clicking from. You know, I need to get links posted out there for people to find it. Because right now it's pretty much just my friends and my dad that go to the site, you know. And ideally, I want to put all these webcasts up and let people experience those, you know, for free, and offer them, you know, this as an option back here, or even incorporate those videos into the website and shoot them back out to YouTube. I got to figure out how to monetize this better, you know, what makes the most sense. But, you know, I really do kind of lean towards the videos being free and not a subscription service, you know, and put how-to videos, you know, how to get your radio online, how to hook up CW skimmer, how to hook up RIDI skimmers, how to do PSK, how to do, you know, the million different options that are out there now, you know, because there's a lot of guys with these $5,000 radios that don't know how to use them because they're not software savvy or tech savvy.
Roger. Yep. I guess I'm one of those also, not tech savvy. When it comes to all those different modes you can operate and whatnot like that, the only thing I really do is get on here and talk. I just put my call sign in your chat box there. I don't know if you can read chat from where you are or not, but just to let you know that I really am watching.
Oh yeah, no, I can see who's in and who's out. It looks like you might have logged out now, but I can't tell. It looks like it's not even broadcasting, or it's just spinning anyway. But yeah, no, I see your call there, W4RHY. So we will definitely, hopefully, get a chance to speak at you again. But I think I'm going to pull the plug for the evening. I got an early morning tomorrow, so I probably need to head to bed. But it's been a pleasure meeting you this evening and chatting. And hopefully we can do it again, sir. W4RHY, NN9DD.
All right, enjoyed it. 73s, and hope to catch you on again sometime. NN9DD, W4RHY.
Good night, Larry. November 9, Delta Delta, Mike in Atlanta, Georgia, clear.